Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope all of you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today. We're going to do a bit of a different video today. This has been highly requested by a lot of people, and a lot of people really want to know kind of what my take on the drama that occurred in JP is, and, what I think about it and what I think should be done. And if you aren't familiar with kind of what the quote-unquote drama is, I'm going to go ahead and link Umbra's video. Umbra is another content producer on the JP side, and he made a video about it, and he was really fiery and impassioned because that's his style. And for me, I had to take some time, think about it, and it really lit a fire under the community, right? And people have been wanting to hear my response. I've been getting hate messages on Discord saying that my silence is enabling Gummy and all of this crazy shit, right? And, I really didn't want to feed into the hype drama. I'm not a hype drama channel. And when I get messages saying that I'm being complacent, or that I'm the global mouthpiece and I need to speak out, it's really interesting because at that point, when you're sending me those messages, it wouldn't be me speaking out, right? It would just be me speaking for whatever your opinion is. And your opinion is not my opinion, and this is my channel. And so my opinion is what all of you are going to get today. And I'm also going to share that I think Cabbage's opinion is very relevant, and I think Cabbage's opinion is honestly my opinion. I genuinely feel on the video that Cabbage just made that it is probably the best and the most articulate way of talking about the subject without igniting fire or creating drama. And I'm going to link that video down below the Umbra video because I genuinely think you should go and watch that. Cabbage doesn't let Gummy escape responsibility, and he doesn't defend them, and nobody should be defending Gummy, and they definitely can't escape the responsibility, right? Trust was broken. And I think anything I could say regarding the JP issue, Cabbage has already said, or said better than I could say it. And I would encourage all of you to go and watch his video and genuinely consider what he has to say, particularly if you're someone who is very impassioned and very frustrated with this situation. There is one thing I do want to talk about, though, and it's not necessarily the situation in JP, but it's this idea of hype drama and this idea of, believing things without having proof for them. And I think there has been a lot of that in the community over the last couple of days. And part of the reason I've delayed my video on this is because I didn't want to make a video that would feed into that drama. I didn't want to make a video that wasn't based on fact. And I didn't want to make a video that would not have been a healthy perspective for gamers. It's really difficult to sit down and come to a decision on how you're going to address this topic with people. Because no matter what you do, people are going to be upset when you start calling them out on their behavior. And the behavior that I've seen in the global community over the last couple of days has been, frankly, a little bit disappointing. Of course, we have the right to be a consumer, and we have the right to be upset with Gummy, and Lord knows I most certainly am. And I think they absolutely deserve that lack of trust right now, and I think we definitely deserve to be skeptical. But what I'm seeing in the community is more than skepticism. What I'm seeing is not a reasonable doubt. What I'm seeing is a feeding on the idea that, one spark or one flame means that the entire building is corrupt. It means that with one grain or one insight that we have, everything is wrong, right? Everything in global is messed up now. Everything is fixed. Everything is rigged. right? That's what a lot of people are believing and saying. And it's very similar to the political divide in our country and the way that people are unable to have dialogue anymore with people. I was just going over the Reddit thread and I was reading what developers were saying, right? Because there's this whole conversation about RNG. There's a conversation about RNG manipulation. There's a conversation about how you represent RNG in code. And, there's developers that are trying to explain how this works to people. And people just aren't listening to them. They're saying, how do you know? You haven't seen the source code. And they don't necessarily have to see the source code because that's literally like how coding works. And at a certain point, we just have to trust the experts in certain things, right? I'm not an expert in coding, but, when I talk to Bismarck and Bismarck tells me that, technically it is impossible to create a random number generator essentially through the use of code, right? It's always going to be dependent on other variables. I'm going to believe him, right? And he's not the only one who I've heard that from. And I might be misquoting someone here. Lord knows, like I said, I'm not an expert, but there are so many people who aren't even looking at basic facts, or they're extrapolating what they want to believe and they're telling themselves a story. Now, I want to stay on this element of telling yourself a story because I think we do this a lot internally when we try to justify ourselves. When you have someone who has done something wrong against you, or let's say you're fighting with your spouse, might be a better example, and you are, trying to think about how it's going to go down, or how you're going to talk about it with your friends, and you're going to tell them a story. And the reason you tell them and you tell yourself a story is because you want to believe something that may or may not necessarily be true. And that behavior is what we're seeing a lot of in global right now. We're seeing people making things up. We're seeing people draw conclusions from a lack of evidence. We're seeing people not listen to other people. And to be honest with you, it's very reflective of a Trumpian perspective and a Trumpian America. I believe firmly that everything should be rooted in evidence before you make a claim. And I believe that, we do have a pretty big chunk of evidence between JP's scandal and between Alchemist Code and, even Brave Exvius to an extent. However, does that mean that there is a intentionally malicious company working to try and increase profits for Square Enix? Because remember, Gummy is a publisher. Gummy probably does make some more money if the game is more profitable. But really, how much more could they be making? They're just the publisher, guys. So there's lots of questions that I have about these theories. And, there's, of course, a right to question Gummy and a right to question their practices and a right to question, maybe we should be doing a test on our banners. I haven't seen people proposing a test. I haven't seen people proposing putting together a massive poll sheet, right? I haven't seen these types of productive discussions. I've seen it in some of the Discord guild chats, but what I see more often is people just deciding to, without any testing, without any data, without any evidence really, make these decisions and make these assumptions that are not true. And then they decide to propagate them and spread them until I get messages from people that are like, Dr. Diggs, what the hell are you doing? You need to do a video on this because this is completely out of control. All the way to, oh my God, War of the Visions is not going to make it. They're going to shut the game down. What are we going to do? Like, that's literally the language that people are getting. And they're confused because They don't see the evidence. It hasn't been made clear to them. And they probably have a right to be confused. And to those people out there that are confused, I would encourage you to continue interrogating what people say, and to continue interrogating Gummy as well. And to make sure you think for yourself, to make sure that you read and thoughtfully listen to other people, and that you engage in a dialogue with them. Maybe that's asking it to, a little bit too much. I don't know, but I think that's really the route we have to go. I'm not sure if I have anything more to say in this video. I wanted to be just really candid and really raw. And so I didn't write anything out. I didn't have anything planned. This is about the second time I filmed this, and I'm sure that I've left something out. But I want to really make my point clear that, this borderline conspiracy, this borderline hysteria really is ridiculous. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for listening. I have no doubt this is going to be my highest downvoted video yet. But as always, everyone, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you're excited for my content tomorrow. And as always, if you are going to be buying Visior, please use my affiliate link dig.gs/coins, or you can go to dig.gs/offer as well.